Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
So Luke, are you recording?
Oh yeah, sorry, I am recording now. I'm still reading. I'm like pensively reading through this fan fiction to find like a good paragraph.
Honestly, I've never related to someone more because every time that Cody's like, yeah, are you ready? I'm like also doing that as well. So I get it.
It's real.
That's great.
It's real.
Yeah.
Hell
Just
yeah.
me furiously procrastinating on my homework until literally the last possible second. So I get it.
Amazing.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Hell yeah.
I love that we finally got Ira Glass.
It's about time. We've been pining over him for years.
Should I really
We
go?
finally got him in the studio.
Should I really go deep on the Ira Glass and like go this voice and like whisper everything I say?
Oh God.
If you want to give everyone the asthma tingles, yes.
I was just about to say this is going to turn into an ASMR podcast.
I love that and also hate it. And if you want to lean into it, like we can get into that like spoopy Halloween thing and say that you're in costume, like audio costume. What is that?
Oh.
Is that anything?
Yeah, it's the new frontier of costumes.
Or you can.
Right, we're really changing the game, flipping the narrative,
Mhm.
you know, reconstructing
Definitely.
what a costume is.
Are audio costumes just acting? Is that just an
Audio costumes, impressions. You know.
audio costumes, aka just improv?
This is, and I know this is a high bar, but this is the worst intro to a podcast we've done.
Thank
maybe
you.
ever.
Oh, was this the intro? Are we recording right now?
We're here, baby.
I love the idea of "Are you recording?" as if we aren't all in separate places having actively pressed record.
Yeah, no, that's true. I guess I meant more like the like perceptual like recording, you know?
Yes. The only thing that can make it more chaotic, Cody, if you just want to add in your little like whistle tootle thing.
I'm so
Just
glad you brought that up.
Oh, hell yeah.
I have it on hand.
Wow, that's great.
I became prepared this week.
The nice thing is that if we just start out awful, it can only go up from here.
That is true.
We're really just like starting from rock bottom.
In rock bottom. Hey, welcome to Into the Twilight.
Ayo,
So,
with a guest. We got a guest.
yes.
Hi.
Yes. Cody, do you want to introduce our fantastic guest?
It's Luke fucking Hicks, y'all.
Hi, how do you do?
His
I
middle name
love
isn't
your
fucking.
middle name.
I was profane and I'm
Or
sorry.
is it? My middle name might be y'all though, because I am from Texas.
Whoa. Yeehaw.
Yee
Wow.
fucking ha.
We invited Luke over because this week we're talking about the Lighthouse, doing a brief
my God.
interlude, a little bit of a vacation from you, the worst thing we've ever done on this podcast.
I just am so tired.
Yeah, so we're taking a break, taking a little vacay, and who better to talk about the Lighthouse with than the biggest fan of the Lighthouse, Luke Hicks?
Yeah, I really love the Lighthouse.
Hell yeah.
I am so excited to talk about this film with you because
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
I hope I can answer them.
Yeah,
Jeez, a lot of pressure.
literally a text I got from Allie a few days ago was just out of context. Hey, what the fuck was that movie? Which is setting a good scene for this episode.
It was literally like as the credits started to roll, I pulled out my phone, turned it back on, and all I could think was like, what? Sorry, what?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's
And I went back into the like blinding sunlight after sitting in the darkest movie in like a darkest theater and was just like, I cannot handle this. So I'm very interested since you saw this film in the most like cinema space. So
yeah, I did.
Luke, since I prior to about, I don't know, 6 minutes ago, did not know who you were, and I'm imagining the laymen of this podcast don't either. Could you, in 6 words or less, introduce yourself to the space.
Oh, 6 words or less, that's tough. I just want to say, before I introduce myself in 6 words or less, that I think even the laymen of the film world also don't know who I am at all, so all lay people...
We're in good company.
Yeah. But, damn, 6 words or less. Film journalist, New York City. Fuck, that was 5 already.
You could have just said New York.
I chose so poorly.
You could have said
Yeah,
Brooklyn,
you committed
really.
a lot.
I should have said Brooklyn. Fuck.
It's okay, you can try again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think
This is low stakes.
film journalist, Brooklyn. Arts obsessive, maybe?
Oh.
Okay. Great.
One
I
word.
still have one word. Oh, God. I guess...
This is just a side on.
I guess...
He's a Libra.
Yeah, is Libra my 6th word? 'Cause that probably says a lot about me to people that I don't know how to communicate in one word.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
That's beautiful. Cody, you do yours.
What? Now we're all doing this? I hate this.
It's a hard game. It's a really hard game.
Ugh. God, I can't believe I'm being pressured on my own podcast. Getting a test.
Well, I want to make Luke feel comfortable.
Yeah,
so
make me feel
That's
comfortable.
true.
he didn't know that I was gonna make him do that.
Okay, fine. Film culture critic, social media manager. Done.
Oh
Nice.
damn.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, I'll do mine. And I didn't start thinking about this until just now,
Yeah.
but I'm imagining you're gonna make me do this too. Middle school teacher
Mm-hmm.
loves Claire Saffitz.
Yes.
That's all you need to know
Great.
about me. Okay, cool, great.
Ooh,
I love
wait,
it.
I want to do one quick redo. This
Okay.
is a side one.
Okay.
Fan of lady cannibal movies.
Oh yeah.
Full stop. Full stop. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that has been a big thing for you as of
Yeah.
late.
Yeah.
Is that like a...
I'm going through a quandary.
Are you talking about like a subgenre of films like Raw, or is this like a series?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly like
Okay,
Raw
great.
and others. Yeah. I've written too many pieces about it where I'm worried that people will think I'm actually a cannibal, so we're at a bit of a standstill at the moment.
I mean, are you sure that you aren't?
Luke.
I'm trying to ask the hard
Don't do
questions,
this.
you know?
Fuck. Damn. Hit me with that journalism. Fuck.
Hey, is Jennifer's Body a cannibal movie?
I would argue yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
And I have before.
I would say yes. Yeah.
And will continue for
Yeah.
the rest of time.
Yeah, I would say female cannibal movies largely can be just under the umbrella of women eating people in movies. However it happens.
Sure.
However it happens.
Okay.
Which happens in Jennifer's Body. So, yes.
Gotcha.
Anyway, this is a weird interlude. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's do some shit.
let's do some current events. Do you want to do interlude
yeah.
music?
Fuck. Hold on. I keep putting it down. I should know better.
Why would you ever put it down?
There it is. You happy?
I feel like that I keep kind of wanting to call it a toy, and that's very condescending of me, so I apologize. But I feel like that is your chaotic version of a sad violin. A small violin?
Yes.
A tiny violin?
absolutely. Yes. This is my outlet for depression.
Just like I'm going through an episode and then also playing that. Yes.
Yeah. That's what my brain is all the time. Welcome.
Okay. We have quite a few current events today. A lot of them, shockingly, are Twilight related, because when aren't they?
Hell yeah.
The first one is an Econotimes space, because when I think about the economy, I always think about K-Stu and our Pats. Sorry, Robert Pattinson.
Listen, they've done so much for the economy.
They
so
really
really.
They have. This is from, and Cody, future Cody, I'm going to ask that you bleep this. This is from the Ellen Show. It's the most grainy photo.
Yeah.
And I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in this photo, Kristen Stewart is holding the void.
That's what it looks like.
I think that's her knee, but yes, it's also the point.
Okay, but like, what is in her right arm?
Right, it just looks like her arm is going into the Phantom Zone. Like, it just looks like...
Is it a bad Photoshop voice? Like, is it a bat? I honest to God don't know.
I feel like it's either bad Photoshop or like a black hole just above her right arm.
Honestly, my uterus is also a black hole, so like I get it, but
oh my god.
I just have questions. Okay, anyways, that's irrelevant. I just freaked me out. One of the things that really drew me in this is that someone, and by someone I mean the writer of this, whomever that is, decided to use a heading that says the ex-lover made good decisions that led to their success. And I just have questions. I just want to know why they made me read that.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable subheads in this. Most notably, K-Stu supported our path.
And that's basically all you need to know from this.
Yeah, and again, Kristen Stewart is credited again as the Snow White and the Huntsman actress. We keep running into this problem every week where we find news about Kristen Stewart, who's done many things, especially recently. But most notably Twilight, for sure. But so many of these pieces the first attribution of her is Snow White and the Huntsman, and we don't know why.
That really is a shame.
Especially because...
Make it make sense. I don't know why. In
this one... I've never seen Snow White spelled like this, where it's Snow White, like, there's
one word, but there's one W.
It's haunting.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Those economy writers and their entertainment knowledge through the roof.
That's true.
I don't know that I want to read any more of this, but I have a lot of questions, essentially.
Yeah. So ponder on that, simmer on it as you will.
Yeah, and just think about the emotional labor of what K-Stu did there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's very good.
Hell yeah.
The next thing here is my favorite, one of my favorite things I'd say from this week. Is an insider piece of some tourism, I would say, some travel.
Sure. Yeah.
Of the, I don't know how to pronounce their name. I think it's Alani Vargas went to Florence and went to Volterra and just did a good old Twilight tourism trip. And it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my whole life.
I can't believe you didn't write this.
It's
absolutely something you would do.
And I will do this at some point.
Before I die, so help me God, I'm going.
Honest to God, I feel like had I just been a hair sicker, that I would have, if I had been just a whisper sicker in high school, that I would have earned my Make-A-Wish. I feel like this would have been my thing. Of like, they would have been like, all right, Allie, like, this is it. You've got like 6 months to live. What are you going to do? And I'd have been like, you know what? Take me to Italy, bitches. I'm going to go. Make me a vampire. But instead, I just gotta see it from afar, I guess. I don't know. But this is a fantastic trip. I loved, my favorite part of this, I don't know about you all, but like my favorite part of this is seeing the like picture from the glass of the Volterra gift shop. I want that shirt that just says I heart Volterra on it.
God, this poster too is just like...
It's really something.
Graphic design is my passion.
Especially because the way that it makes it seem is that it's the city is Volterra and the country is New Moon.
Right. We've entered the jurisdiction of New Moon. Welcome.
Yeah.
A beautiful nation state of New Moon.
Yeah. I love it so much. It's beautiful, and thank you for this gift, this journalism. It's beautiful. So I love it.
Yes. Thank you. Shout out.
Thank you for doing the good work, Insider.
Literally, thank you for your service.
Okay, Cody, I'm going to ask you to do Fashion Corner, please, and thank you.
Hell yeah. Dakota Johnson is hot. That's the corner.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting. She was on the red carpet for the Governor's Awards a few days ago. And just looking so cute. Are you fucking kidding me with this shit?
It's honestly
these
upsetting.
photos. It's elegant. She looks like she could get married right now, like, on this carpet. It's like a beautiful white, like, high skirt and some sort of bandeau top. I don't know how to describe fashion, but it's great. I'm into it.
The smize in that second photo.
Come on. Get out
Wait,
of here.
hold on. Shut the fuck up. Everyone shut up.
Powerful woman. Okay.
Everyone shut up. I'm having a galaxy brain moment. I just realized that
Yeah.
Coldplay is performing on Saturday at SNL.
Yes.
And she's dating Mr. Coldplay.
Wait, really?
Allie, I keep trying to forget.
And K-Stu is going to be there
Yeah.
because she's performing.
Right.
So, hold on. Wait. So, Dakota Johnson...
Everyone shut up.
Everyone shut up. No. So, that means that K-Stu and Dakota Johnson are going to, like, be together. So, we'll probably
Yeah.
get photos of them together.
Oh my god, we're gonna explode. This podcast will just...
I can't wait for Saturday to be the last day I live.
That's it. What a way to die.
Holy shit.
I'm booking a flight to Florence and I'm calling it quits, baby.
Oh my god. Speaking of Dakota Johnson, though, Luke, have you happened to watch Wounds?
I have watched Wounds. I watched it in January.
Oh my
and
god. Wow.
I think I was like one of 12 people out of 1,000 that liked it.
Okay, so we briefly talked about it last week because I made it about 30 minutes in before I tapped out because of the roaches. Can you give us a brief rundown of your experience watching Wounds in January because you're like famous, so.
My brief experience watching Wounds was, it was a midnight screening. It was at Sundance. There was a lot of hype because Babak Anwari's Under the Shadow was an incredible movie. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was just, I expected it to be great, and for whatever reason, I wouldn't say it was great, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was freaky as fuck, and everyone else hated it. I remember the person sitting in front of me, a critic who shall not be named, who was scribbling furiously the whole time to the point where, like, he never even looked up at the screen, I want to say. And then his
was that
review came
me?
out,
It was
like,
me.
It was you. His review came out like 2 hours later, and it was like, this is the worst movie I've seen in a long time. And I was like, you didn't even watch the fucking movie, man. Anyways,
Damn.
I think it's an underdog. That's what I
Wow.
think.
Damn.
Did you like it, Cody?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
behind.
mean, like, I think just watching Dakota Johnson and Armie Hammer be beautiful, even if their relationship is shit, is still really
right,
nice.
absolutely. That's how I got into this podcast, Luke. I'm here for the hot people in
So
bad
we're on the same
media.
page.
That's like all I'm here. That's what I'm in this industry for. I'm here to thirst and nothing else.
That's true. Yeah, I signed up to watch that because I was like, great, they're both beautiful. And then it was a lot of Armie Hammer just staring at roaches.
There's a lot of that.
And that's as far as I got. And I was like, oh, well, So,
That's fair.
but it's good to know that there is some people that were like, keep this, yes, cinema.
But yeah, fun fact, Dakota Johnson is dating the dude from Coldplay.
Yeah,
And
Mr.
Chris
Coldplay.
Martin?
It's the worst piece of knowledge that won't escape my brain.
Wait, is it Chris
And I hate
Martin?
it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Really gotta sit on that one. Just,
A lot to think about.
it's awful. I hate it.
Yeah, it's especially because like that means she's like tangentially up, like I don't know. Does that make her sort of related to Gwyneth Paltrow? I don't know. It's like a whole thing.
We're doing too many like corkboard wrestling situations right now.
That's true. Okay. Speaking of that though, our last bit of news is about K-Stu.
Hell yeah.
Who, by the time that this comes out, will have been on SNL, and hopefully will have done a reprisal of the Totinos bit.
Honestly, if she doesn't, what's the point?
What is the point? God. It honestly, like, broke the internet was the most important thing. All I want is to be able to see her and Bowen Yang in a bit together.
Yes.
I feel like
very good.
It would. I feel like it would really do something. But I'm very excited, especially about the video that just came out with her and I'm forgetting.
Kate McKinnon.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just doing a thumbs war. That's really important to me.
Yeah, just like it's too much hotness in one room. It should be illegal. They need to just separate them. They can't be in a distance of each other.
I just love that Kate McKinnon like used her feet to scoot up in the chair closer to the light. It's just, that's a big mood.
Yeah, it's a great 60 seconds of content.
Yes, it means a lot to me. Also, just like that Casey's wearing those type of glasses. I don't know what they're called, but I don't know. I always associate them with serial killers, but they look good on her, so whatever.
Yeah, it does look like she could just play a serial killer in a movie.
Yeah.
Like she just left from one other indie set to another.
Yeah.
Went to SNL to just drop off, get her check.
But it's okay. I respect it. I'm fine with her wearing them and no one else, so.
Of course.
Okay. All right. I'm finally prepared. My vocal cords are warmed up. I'm ready to listen to you all discuss the Lighthouse. And I'm ready to answer all of the questions. And we have a lot of audience questions about the puss. So
listen, y'all are some, I know we're horny, but y'all are some horny motherfuckers. And I appreciate it.
I'm glad that you all were acutely able to describe our brand when bringing in a guest that I am pretty confident has never listened to our podcast before. And
certainly
can just look at our questions here and acutely in a second look at what our brand is. So thank you.
Yeah, I can tell y'all definitely got some rowdy listeners.
Great, thank you. Rowdy is the appropriate way to describe our podcast, I would say.
It's true. It's rowdy.
So what I would love is to get, Luke, your background on this movie.
I saw this, so I went to Cannes for the first time this year. I saw The Lighthouse. I waited for 6.5 hours over a period of 3 days.
Jesus.
It was the longest I've ever waited for a movie, but not the longest in one period, since it was 3 times split up. It was very frustrating. The second time I had a long argument with the person who was working the front because I was only 2 people away. I lost that argument.
Damn.
But anyways, eventually saw it, and everyone was so excited for it. And it was one of the better premieres of a film I've seen. It was just, everyone was so excited about everything and every tiny little art housey aspect of The Lighthouse that probably wouldn't play well in an AMC or your average movie theater was just fireworks at Cannes. So it was pretty fucking fantastic. And then I watched it a second time last week on my birthday, actually.
Wow.
Aw, cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm curious, how did you get to France? How did that how does one get to Cannes?
You just have to. I mean, there's definitely not a way by any means. If there is, it would probably just be distilled into you have to get a letter of assignment from a publication that Cannes deems worthy, which is a lot, by the way. I mean, Cannes has 4,500 press, which is the largest of any festival in the world by a mile. So a lot of people cover it. It's more that it's just really expensive, and the average journalist in the US is not making enough money to buy a flight to Cannes and then pay for it, a place to stay afterwards. But anyways, yeah, it's I got assigned by Film School Rejects to go, and yeah, that's really it. I mean, I was trying really hard to go, so I guess there's a lot else that happened over a period of years that got me there, but yeah, it was just like it finally culminated in going this year.
Gotcha. So Mr. Can was like, "You are the one, Luke. I choose
Yeah, he
you."
sent me, like in Harry Potter when all the Hogwarts letters come through the mailbox and the Dudleys are like, "Fuck no, get out of here." It was like that, but with letters from Mr. Can.
Holy shit! Wow. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that your letter finally came through.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about. So you had to wait several days to be able to get into the showing. Is that just because so many people wanted to see it?
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
I mean, there's like a culture of waiting in lines at Cannes that's really absurd. I mean, for most movies that are anticipated even a little bit, it's a given that you should wait for about 90 minutes. But I mean, the more hype there is, the longer. Like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood one was probably like 3.5 hours. The Terrence Malick one was like 2.5. So it just kind of matters, and you play it by ear. But the strange thing about The Lighthouse is that it wasn't in the Cannes official selection, which a lot of people expected it to be, but they seem to have this aversion to genre movies. So it wasn't. It was in what's called the Kenzen, or the Director's Fortnight. And they're only I want to say there are only 6 or 7 movies in that sidebar festival. But it's right next to the Palais. It's like a whole part of the culture of Cannes. But they do like priority things differently. So at all the other Cannes screenings, it's like you have a tier of badge. It's pretty easy to like get in as long as you wait long enough. But at the Lighthouse, it was pretty unpredictable because the badges did not work that way. And I waited in line the first time I waited for 2.5 hours. The second time I waited for 2 hours. Didn't get in either time. And like got close both times. And it was just a matter of like hoping. One time even like 4 or 5 of my friends were a few people in front of me. That second time they all got it and I didn't. That was really crushing.
Wow.
But then the third time, actually, I don't think I was going to get in. I wasn't able to wait for longer than an hour and a half. And then lucky for me, I knew a press rep from the film and he ended up giving me a ticket at like the last minute. So I really probably shouldn't have gotten into the movie. But that just goes to show how much hype there was for that movie.
Wow.
People were excited about our pet.
Yeah, understandable.
Our boy, Robert.
So I'm curious so obviously it sounds like then that you liked it. That's why you are here. What
Absolutely.
was the audience reception there?
Oh my gosh, they were wild. It was one of the most responsive audiences I've sat in.
Like
People
a horny audience?
There was definitely some horniness in the air.
Oh God.
I would say
just a mist.
yeah, exactly.
In essence.
I would say the main vibe of the audience was just they were just ecstatic. There was so much I don't know, just frenetic energy in the air, spritzing around, and it was really contagious. I walked out of that movie feeling like I was still in it for 4 or 5 more hours, mainly because of the audience, I think. But it was every little thing got just rapturous applause. People probably applauded in the middle of that movie 10 to 15 times.
Huh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Wild audience.
I believe that. So
very young too, I should say.
Young audience?
Mm-hmm. I feel like everyone was under 30.
When you said that, I was like 6-year-old? What do you mean?
There were babies.
Just baby journalists? Just baby journalists waiting in line. Cody, what was your experience watching this?
I saw this in the middle of the day on a Wednesday, a very inconvenient time. But I wanted to review this so bad, and I already got the okay from my editor, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. With just a few other Chicago-based peeps, it was great. And so there wasn't a lot of us, but it was great. Some of them had seen it before, but I think a lot of them were just this it for the first time, and we were all just I think it was the opposite. We were very quiet, but in a very good unifying quiet. We're just yes, this rules. This is awesome. Yeah, it was a good time.
That's awesome. Mine was a very old audience, but that's because I saw it 4 days ago. I don't know. And I went to a 21 and up theater. So I don't know.
Whoa.
It was like
No
one of
fucking
the
children in my movie.
Well, it was one of the only places around here that was showing on. So I don't know. It was way different. I want to get into y'all's thoughts about this first, mainly because I have a lot of questions. So, I don't. Cody, why don't you start on your thoughts? Like, what did you think about this?
I fucking love this movie.
Tell me
I
more.
Love it a lot.
Tell me about the boys. The dads.
It's what I really like from this movie and movies in general is when it's so just like it's so condensed and it's so just focused on these two people losing their minds, and it's great. And it felt like theater to me in the best way, because you're just sort of watching this really intimate play, but it's fucking bananas and buck wild and taking crazy mythical, like, magical realism turns and maritime lore and fucking seagulls and whatever. And it's just, like, so crazy enough, but also so, like, restrained in a way that's, like, very formulaic in a way that makes sense. It just appealed to all of my sensibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Robert is fucking great. Willem Dafoe has never been bad in a movie in his life. So it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. The lore on it was, like, the symbolism in it was off the charts.
Right.
That was fantastic on there. What else stood out to you, Luke?
Oh gosh, there's so much that stands out to me about this movie. One of the first things I noticed, I mean, it's super obvious the whole time, but I think it's just strange for Eggers, because have y'all seen The Witch as well?
I have, yeah.
The Witch?
Okay.
The Witch, as we call it.
Yes, exactly, The Witch. It's like he's 2 for 2 on movies with really bizarre language. He seems to have an affinity for language, and, like, language that really doesn't make sense to people in the 21st century, but, you know, like, we can obviously interpret it and read it, maybe The Lighthouse a little more than The Witch, but yeah, like, the language throughout was as funny as it was grave. You know, like, there's so many times when you're just laughing because he says, you know, like, the damps got to the provisions instead of the food is wet, and you're just like, what a way to phrase that. But then, I mean, he also, like, recites prayers and poetry and whatnot that kind of, like, makes you still in the moment. So yeah, language was, like, a huge thing. God, the editing, oh my gosh, it's so fucking funny. When they're, like, screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and then it just cuts immediately to them, like, singing on each other's shoulders, like, completely drunk. There's some really, really brilliant editing like that makes it hilarious. Did you like The Witch, Cody?
Yes, I did. I think I like this better, but I haven't seen The Witch. I haven't revisited it in a while, so my rankings are not up to date. But yes, I did like it.
Yeah, me too.
I liked this one better.
You did.
What I will
movies.
They are.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah, it's hard to compare, but yeah.
Yeah.
There was so much about this. I agree. It felt very much like a play to me. And I feel like I haven't watched something like this where it's just 2 actors.
Right.
I feel like if I haven't in a long time. And so I feel like it would be very easy to adapt this to a play format. But there's a lot that stands out to me. One, I mean, obviously, like, the seagull stuff, because fuck birds, for real. I'm so scared of birds, and so every time that Robert Pattinson was just staring menacingly at a seagull, I was like, I feel you, I understand, like, I respect it. But there was a lot of, like, every time that Willem Dafoe was like, don't fuck with the birds, and Robert Pattinson was like, I don't know, maybe I will fuck with the birds.
But I kind of want to, though.
But I kind of want to. And I loved, there were just some, like, genuinely funny moments, which I was not expecting, of just, like, one, they are just, like, sailors, and so there was just a lot of farting. Just a lot of farts.
A lot of farting.
And then just the when Willem Dafoe was just like playing goofs on like, oh, you have to clean the faucet, lol. And then when they get drunk and they just start socking the shit out of each other, that was hilarious to me.
It's so good.
It was so funny.
Funny.
I was just not expecting some of those parts to be, I guess, as funny as they were, especially because it was just building suspense throughout the whole time.
Right. I think that was interesting too, because I feel like whenever I recommend this movie to other people and they're like, oh, is it like scary? And I'm like, no, it's like not, at least for me, it wasn't scary at all. It's very funny.
It is.
It's just like, it's more of a comedy than anything. It's just very jarring and like how it's packaged and like how broody and fucking one by one and all this shit and black and white and whatever. But it's just like fucking these two dudes just being gross, like, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just gnarly, I think.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
It's also so absurd, you know? Like,
right.
People ask me, like, I talk about the Eric Andre show a lot because I'm obsessed with it. And people be like, oh, is it funny? And I'm like, I mean, I think it's hilarious. But I don't think that that's classically considered funny. I feel like the Lighthouse falls into that boat where it's like, it's just not, it's such a strange kind of funny, and it's hard to explain to people because on paper it doesn't read like it would be funny.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the things I will say that detracted from my viewing and why it's definitely grown on me since viewing it, but it's taken a lot of me having to kind of study and read about it since then, but it was very confusing to me while watching it, mainly because I could not understand them while watching it. And I think I feel like my initial viewing would have benefited from having captions while watching, because I could not understand Willem Dafoe at all. Because his accent was accurate, but so goddamn thick.
Yeah, he's pretty gruff.
Yeah. And there was a lot of the parts where my eyes were like squinting and I was like, I know that doesn't help my hearing, but I am just staring so intently at the screen being like, I cannot parse what you are saying at all. I need someone to translate this, even though I know you are speaking English. It is just such a mid-Eastern Atlantic whatever.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if he even wants us to pick up all the words.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like they feel more thematic a lot of the time, or tonal or something.
Yeah. There's also there was a part in the trailer too of like spilling the beans, and I thought that was all like literal beans. And that might have been also like all of the reactions that I saw on Twitter of just like people showing bean cans, and then that ended up being like a whole different thing. But we did get a lot of questions about this, and so I feel like we should probably talk about it.
Hell yeah.
We got 2 specific questions. One saying, I'm going to need to hear at least several minutes discussing mermaid vaginas. And another saying, thoughts on the mermaid pussy. So, I would like to hear
any takers. Step on down.
Someone head to the mic, please.
Good thing I prepared my mermaid pussy dialogue without having read the questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and open up.
As a PowerPoint.
Yeah, go ahead and open up your Google Doc. Because
I don't know that I have any commentary on the mermaid vagina.
How do you not, though?
You know, that's a good question. Something worth pondering for sure.
Yeah, how about you really think about your own biases, Luke? How do you think about why?
How spoilery are we getting on this? Is that?
I mean, fuck it.
Fuck it. Whatever.
Fuck it.
I mean,
we warned people.
I feel like Willem Dafoe is the mermaid.
Interesting.
Tell me more.
So if we're talking about mermaid vaginas, you know, and I think Willem Dafoe is the mermaid, it just really complicates things. I don't even know what step to take next.
I mean, show me your red string. Illuminate your corkboard for me.
A Pandora's box of possibility right now.
Well,
I need you to elaborate on everything you just said.
Okay. If the Lighthouse is some sort of like transcendental, or maybe not transcendental, but at the very least like portal to some other dimension, which it seems like it is, whether that's like limbo or, you know, some strange like neutral afterlife, or maybe hell, who knows, something along those lines. And then like Defoe is the keeper, then he is like every life form. He's the seagulls as much as he is the mermaid that is like seducing Robert Pattinson underwater, as much as he is, you know, that like strange Poseidon, like freaky tentacled character he turns into for brief moments, as much as he is like the standing lighthouse that's shining beams into his eyes. Okay. He is everything.
Interesting.
Huh.
I like that theory a lot, actually.
So do I. I hadn't thought about it. Because
it makes sense with when you're like, because Willem Dafoe is like the only stagnant and stable thing, quote unquote stable thing, like in the universe, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's like going through just like herds of these shopkeepers and these lighthouse keeps that will always go crazy and will always lose their minds because they see visions and whatever. But he's the only one that's like remaining there. And it might not be because he's like immune to it or he doesn't believe whatever, he doesn't see it or something, but like that he is manifested in all of these different like situations and representations of that madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how else could they not go insane next to like a eternal being? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
Right.
As we all know from our experiences with eternal beings.
Right. I mean, listen, fellas.
Ladies, am I right?
Come on.
I feel like that's also Willem Dafoe only ever gets upset about things that are very trivial. Like he gets lightly upset that Thomas won't drink.
Right.
You know, like God does.
Yeah, like God does. No, but it's like he never seems to be concerned about the fact that they're stuck on the island, you know? He never seems to be concerned about the fact that they're like doomed. And, you know, like, wait, what are their names? Oh, Ephraim is his name. So, like, he's always trying to get away, you know? And then Willem Dafoe's character is not. He's just, like, totally fine. He's kind of, like, laughing about the whole thing most of the time.
Yeah, I'll fucking drown in this lighthouse, whatever. We're just riding it, baby.
That's true. Holy shit.
Interesting.
Damn.
Much to think about.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that. Because I know that there are some theories, right, about it being, like, pretty homoerotic. Because they're in, like, a phallic statue and all that stuff. But I hadn't really taken it to the fact that, like, I don't know, Wake was, like, a god or whatever. That's interesting. Damn.
I mean, there's also that, what does the film open with? The film opens with a quote from Greek mythology of some sort.
It does.
I don't remember anymore what it is. Is it from, like, the modern Prometheus or something? Or no, or just the Tale of Prometheus? I don't remember. Anyways, the point is, there's clearly a lot of Greek mythology influence on it.
It does.
So that's kind of, like, the center of that thought, is, like, there's... I don't know. Like, I've read so many articles and reviews and essays on it, and it's like everyone seems to go to the Greek mythology thing. So I'm assuming he's talked about that a lot in interviews and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, like, the ending is extremely a Greek mythology. Like, because it is Prometheus, with him getting his, his liver chewed out by birds, I think it is.
Yeah, sounds right.
Because he's like, I think it's Prometheus. He's like chained to a rock. The eagle comes every day and like picks his organs out, and then like every night they're like regrown or something like that. So that makes sense. Huh. Damn. All right.
I do think though, the queer aspect is definitely there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It seems pretty overwhelming.
Come on.
With that much
These
cum.
boys. These boys.
With the cum, like, flowing down. Come on.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's just so
if nothing
much.
else, this movie is about men. Like, full stop.
Yeah.
It's just, like, about masculinity. In any, like, interpretation of how you feel about that or whatever. But, like, it's just two dudes
Just guys being dudes.
on the open sea. Just figuring it out. Trapped in a phallus. Doing what boys do.
Did y'all see that interview with Pattinson where they were like, we talked to Robert Eggers and he said that, like, maybe it's not about being gay, or like maybe there's not anything between the two of you. And then Robert Pattinson's like, oh no, but in the script it said that the lighthouse was a phallic symbol and it looks like a huge erect penis. He's like, I think it was pretty explicit.
It's so funny to me, this, like, media narrative around it, because, like, even Robert Eggers was like, yes, the lighthouse is a phallus, and what happens when you get two dudes trapped in a phallus? But then he's like, no. It's up to you. It's your interpretation. You're like, Robert, just come on. Like, you can't say it and then not say it, and then make other Robert say it. What are we doing here? We're just playing ping pong, fucking back and forth here. Come on.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, Robert, you can't put them in a penis, two dudes in a penis, and then put the movie in black and white. Like,
yeah, come on.
Come on. Oh my god. So, Luke, your explanation makes a lot of sense to me now, because I was thinking about the ending and I was like, what the fuck? Because I was like, what is in this light, other than, like, light? So that makes a lot of sense to me. Cody, what was your initial reading on the madness and the puss and stuff?
I'm so willing to accept just magical realism in anything that I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. This tracks. Just however it exists in there, it's great.
Sure.
Agreed.
I don't know. I saw it a lot as like a power thing, especially with like the men and being dudes in a lighthouse. But like a thing that I was thinking about a lot when watching it was like, especially towards the end, it was like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I feel like that was a really important relationship between the two of them, like personally, and like with all these things kind of being thrown at them or whatever. But it was like this, it's about this power dynamic, and it makes sense with like if it's like a divine thing, or if it's like a whatever, you are representing this world that you're in or whatever. But it's like fun, it's grounded in this like subordination and like domination conversation. Wow, bars. But that just like sort of fuels each other, and how they interact with one another and how they interact with the world that they're in.
Yeah.
And also how the world like abrasively interacts with Robert, especially quite directly, in a very confrontational, dominating way. Because he's like honestly just subordinated by his surroundings, which you could also say is in part by Willem, but you know, it is literally there in the physical space too.
Yeah. I think one of the things, since when I got out of this, I was not thinking about Willem Dafoe as God, which,
Right.
like, silly me, because all allegories lead back to that, so honestly, my bad. Honestly, I'm sorry for that. One of the things that had, like, struck me after this was the fact that Robert Pattinson's character had lied about who he was. Like, he had, like, killed that dude and lied about who he was. And so I had kind of read it as he had, like, wanted to start over, but he seemed so adamant about taking over Willem Dafoe's position. And so during the whole time, I couldn't figure out, like, which one of them was gaslighting the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't figure out, like, if Willem Dafoe's character was gaslighting Robert Pattinson or Robert Pattinson was gaslighting Willem Dafoe. Mainly because the thing that tripped me up was Willem Dafoe's log, and how it kept saying that Robert Pattinson was, like, drinking and wanted him to get, like, severance without pay. And so it really tripped me up being like, we saw that that's what Robert Pattinson said he wrote, but we didn't get to see it ourselves. And so I couldn't figure out, like, who was backstabbing the other person kind of thing. Especially because he was just, like, straight up burying Willem Dafoe alive.
You know, what you do with your bros, with your homies.
The boys.
Yeah.
Just, you know, what you do
Maybe
with
in the
your
fucking pit. In the ground, literally.
And so there was a lot to unpack there for sure. So
A lot.
I mean, you could say that they're both playing each other.
True.
The whole thing, right? Like
True.
it's like feeding into this power thing. Like they're just trying to like one up each other a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Robert more directly, but like both are trying to like assert dominance over the other in some sort of way. So they're just kind of playing each other the whole time.
There's also like the dominance of Defoe's character. Like there's no source to it. Like my inner rebellious self is like, why are you listening to this dude? Like y'all are the only two people on the island. Like you don't have to
Fuck
scrub the
this
floor
guy.
again. Yeah. So it's like there's
Take
something
shit from this guy.
There's like something else there too where they both seem like they're observant of like, I don't know, another thing that is making them be the way they are.
It almost sounds like Robert Eggers was inspired by A Simple Favor.
Yes. The crossover of the century. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
He wasn't doing anything, and then he saw A Simple Favor, and like everything of the Lighthouse just emerged.
Okay, the Lighthouse, exactly the same, but they're wearing very killer blazers.
They're still wearing the top. They're like still wearing the hats and the cigars and pipes or whatever the fuck, but just a very killer blazer. One of my favorite things was when someone was like, yeah, I know how to use Photoshop and color correct, and they changed Robert Pattinson's outfit from black and white into the Paddington colors.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite things.
It's haunting.
It really, I saw that like right before I went in to watch the movie, and it changed everything. Okay, the last question we have really does a number, which is, would y'all spit on him erotically? And the him,
Who
I
is
think,
him?
is... Well, that's, it's up to you, Luke.
Dealer's choice, Luke.
I mean, now that you've said it, it might be God.
Well.
Would I spit erotically on God? Yes.
Hell
Would
yeah.
I spit erotically? You know, I think I would probably... Yeah, no, this is easy. Of course I would spit erotically on Robert Pattinson over Willem Dafoe. No offense. to
He
Willem
likes
Dafoe.
it.
I mean, yeah.
Damn.
Like,
It's been confirmed, actually, that I think he likes it. So,
well, there you go. I'm doing him a favor.
Hell yeah.
well, Cody,
Yes, all of them. Every one of them.
Yeah, no, I don't want to rule out
Lighthouse
Willem
included. The mermaid.
Everything.
All of it. All of it.
the answer is obviously yes. Not to Willem Dafoe, because Willem Dafoe, not my thing, but Robert Pattinson, yes. Obviously. Yes. So, there. Rating out of 5 stars to the Lighthouse. Or rating out of 5 seagulls.
How many goals would you give this movie?
Yeah, I definitely 5. I mean, I don't know what else I would want from it, you know? Kind of like does everything for me.
Wow. Cody?
4.5, because I'm doing half stars.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow, really
Sorry.
stingy.
What do you mean? Come on. That's a great rating. That's a 9 out of 10.
All right, it is a great rating.
I would do, and this might just be from theaters in general, from an accessibility standpoint. I'm going to do a 4 goals, mainly because I needed captions on that boy.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait to watch this movie with subtitles.
Just because I was like, what the fuck are they saying at some points?
Yeah.
And also, I just want to see it with captions of when Robert Pattinson was just furiously grunting at some of those points. Just for the screen cap abilities
Yeah.
of that.
Oh. God, the meme potential is going to be so good when we get captions.
I cannot wait, actually. I can't wait. There was one thing I forgot to mention, which is, and I don't know, you all might have known this, but apparently Robert's masturbation scene was the first scene that he filmed. Which is something.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Really cheap.
It's called method acting. It just like gets you right in the mindset, the headspace you gotta be in.
Yeah, that really does something.
No, I actually wanted to say something about his masturbation because
please.
I'm sure y'all have talked about this on this podcast, but this is like a theme in his career now.
Yes.
Right. Yes, we have.
And I think The Lighthouse might be his best masturbation scene because not only is he really furious about it, but also two other things. One, he's jacking off to a wooden figurine,
right?
Which is
yes.
like next level. Number two, it like becomes part of the score.
Yeah,
like his hand is percussive.
Oh my god.
And I think now the challenge for any filmmaker with Robert Pattinson in their film is just going to be finding a way to more efficiently utilize a Robert Pattinson masturbation scene.
Yeah, I can't wait until it's part of Batman.
Yeah.
Because that's really part of Bruce Wayne's... Bruce Wayne? What?
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. My favorite.
Bruce Wayne's whole thing.
Well, I was gonna say that made me think of that clip that everyone's been posting on Twitter from Joker, where he's doing his fun dance on the stairs, and the great song is playing, and then it so abruptly cuts into the score, really with no sensibility. But just imagine that beautiful cacophony of just like it all coming together from like the actual like sound that's happening.
Yeah.
It's great. Amazing. It's perfect.
It is really great.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love Foley work.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't. It's got to be part of his thing now, because it's a pattern at this point.
Right.
And so now I just want to know how they are working it into Batman, and I'm very curious at this point. That's for sure. What is Batman's butler's name? I'm such a bad
Alfred.
DC person. Alfred. I just can't wait until Robert Pattinson's like, I'm sorry, Alfred, can you just get me some Kleenex for this whole thing? Or he's like, Alfred, dispose of this sock, please. Don't look at, no, Alfred, don't, just,
don't, please. Just throw it away. This never happened.
Just set it on fire, actually. Any other last thoughts, then, for The Lighthouse?
I love Robert's mustache.
Such a great
Jesus.
mustache. I'm really glad you said that.
It is.
Yes.
It's a gorgeous mustache.
It's very good.
Very nice mustache.
If anyone wants to know what my transition goals are, it's that mustache.
Oh my god.
That's it.
It's very good.
I've been trying my best to wear a Robert Pattinson in the Lighthouse mustache as much
I think
as
you
possible.
have the potential.
I mean, I'm
I think
trying,
you have it in
I'm
you.
giving it my best shot. I'm not
Yeah.
pretending like I'm there, but gotta start somewhere.
No, but you're on your way.
yeah, hey.
You're making
hey,
steps.
thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, man.
That's very good. I love that.
Oh wait, I did have a last thought though.
Yes, go.
And we've sort of already covered this, but I feel like we have to say that both of their performances have got to be two of the best performances kind of ever.
Top tier.
They're just
yeah.
so physical, like it watching the movie, there were several occasions where I was thinking to myself, like, this must have been really painful, or like this must have been incredibly uncomfortable, and I don't know how many takes you did of it, to where by the end I'm like, I mean, you would have had to like train, I feel like, to do this role, or just get your ass kicked from like 9 to 5 every day.
There was a lot of work that Robert Pattinson was just like hauling ass on some of those things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like he was doing like actual work on that beach.
Definitely.
Right.
Which is hard. So
Just like an endurance test.
Yeah.
That whole movie.
yeah.
When he's like dragging that big can up, like, I don't know if
Yes.
it's real. It's really great acting if it's not actually that heavy, but it looks like it's that heavy.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. The other thing I'll say to add on to that is, and I saw this in a review that I don't remember which one, but someone said, like, usually in a 2-person acting movie, that one person will usually carry it, and I did not feel that in this. Yeah. That I felt that it was very equitable, of like both of them are really equally carrying this, which I think stands that. Like, when I think of Willem Dafoe, I always think of, like, an outstanding performance. And Robert Pattinson carried his weight there as well.
Yeah, he held his own, too. Because that's a hard thing to do, to compete with him. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Both evenly matched, I would say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you think... I know that A24, like, submitted this, but do you think that this will be nominated for awards?
Gosh, that's such a painful question, because I feel like the answer is no, but like just imagining that Willem Dafoe doesn't get a nomination for getting all that dirt thrown on his face, or that Robert Pattinson doesn't get a nomination for everything. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they should, but I don't feel like they will.
If not, they'll just make like an honorary Oscar that's like, you endured the worst crimes on set than anyone else here. Congratulations.
Yes. That is fantastic. I love that. I will say it has been a nice reprieve to talk about something other than you this week.
Thank God.
And to feel so close to the end too, because next week we are actually finally finishing this book after what has felt like 9 months of
400
long
years
forever.
We've been trapped in the lighthouse
for so long. This book. For so long. We have a fantastic set of patrons.
Hell yeah.
And I've placed a link here from a website I've literally never heard of before, called Preen. It is a listicle of the Twilight fans' guide to 2000s trends. So if I can direct your attention here... it is really a throwback to some important fashion trends.
Right, iconic moments.
Yes.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Rachel Gray.
Woo 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 woo.
Who's gonna be gloomy gray outfits.
That's what I wear on an everyday basis.
I mean, you do live in the Pacific Northwest.
That's true. I do basically live here, so.
Yeah.
Shout out to Janae Jasper.
Yeah.
Who's going to be red or gold contacts.
Ooh. I love that that's like, oh, that was a 2000s trend. You know, how everyone was just wearing red and gold contacts.
You know.
You remember.
You know.
Yeah. Shout out Kelly Beck.
Woo woo woo.
Who's gonna be prom dressed with sneakers. And obviously a boot also.
Can relate.
Foot's broke.
Can relate, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Sophia Salinger.
Yeah.
Who is going to be... This is not technically a number on here, but it says on one of these... From one of my favorite movies growing up, A Cinderella Story, when Hilary Duff wore pink Chuck Taylors. And that really just does something for me.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
What an
just
iconic moment.
Calling them Chuck Taylors just is something.
Yeah.
Great film.
Shout out Aaron Salinger.
Pew, pew, pew.
Who's gonna... I'm really loving the fanfare on this one.
Just the soft towels.
Who's gonna be plaid shirts of different colors, aka all of Bella's bisexual fits.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I love that's the most vague thing. And again, it might just be because of where I live, but that is something that still exists. Like,
right.
If you go to any podcast live showing, that's just... You will look into a sea of all the people just wearing plaid shirts.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole and I have no idea who you just said.
I said Aaron Salinger.
Okay.
You're on our girl,
course.
our intern.
Our unofficial intern, Taylor Browntown Launer.
Hell yeah.
I am going to do an unofficial one here of wearing what kind of, is this a bowler hat that Eric is wearing here to prom? Is that
yes.
a bowler hat to prom?
I would quantify that as a bowler hat.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm gonna. All right, Taylor Browntown, you're gonna be wearing a bowler hat to prom.
You know. Hell yeah. And shout out to Katie Weber.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yes, who's gonna be classic Team Edward or Team Jacob t-shirts.
Oh my god, just
Classics.
Mood. The best, honestly.
Mood.
Now, I wanted to say this until the last part here. So this is something that we do and this will be a helpful segue here, Luke. Luke, what is your relationship to Twilight?
Oh, woof.
How much time do we have?
Jeez. I mean, I've seen all of them. I can say that. I watched them all.
That most people can't, so.
Yeah, I feel good about that. I saw all of them in high school, I believe. Wait, when did the last one come out?
That one came out in 2012.
Okay. So I guess I saw that one in college, but I saw the rest of them in high school with my girlfriend at the time, very begrudgingly, and had to keep to myself that maybe I was enjoying it more than I was letting on.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's the best possible answer.
But
yeah, I love
now
that.
I'm just thankful for them for giving us, or thankful to them for giving us Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, because they truly are like two of my favorite actors alive. So
oh my god,
I have a lot of love in my heart for the Twilight movies.
We owe a great debt.
Truly. Yes. And most important question, Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Definitely Team Edward.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Allie, you're not going to win this one.
I know that it's the right answer. It's just that Taylor Lautner's beautiful, okay? I don't know what you want me to say.
Sure.
All right. So, Luke, I'm very thankful that you brought a fan fiction for us today. What horrors did you bring to torture Cody Sears with?
Okay, so this is it's called Northern Lights and Whiskey Lullabies by...
Oh my god.
What? Why do you say that?
No, you have my attention.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be like, wow, everybody reads this one.
No, we haven't had a repeat so far, I don't think.
Okay, great. It's by Song Girl.
Oh.
And I got the idea that in my very, very preliminary research that maybe it's a well-read Twilight fan fiction. Whatever that means.
Sure.
Okay. I flop onto the bed, noting the collection of Diet Coke bottles that I should really put into the recycling and grab for my book. Damn, I left it in the trailer. I'm wide awake and feeling at loose ends. I'm restless, and if I'm honest, more than a little randy. As long as I'm living in this paparazzi bubble, I could qualify for a monastery. Not that it's feasible to actually date. Even a date, if I ever threw caution to the wind and subjected some poor girl to this circus and what the media would say, she would have to enter witness protection. I don't know. It's like I would just ruin lives anyways. Yep, me, by myself, playing my own trumpet. I think of the Joyce poem, Alone. The sly reeds whisper to the night, a name, her name, and all my soul is a delight, a swoon of shame. I wistfully remember the girl at the club and absently pull out my new mobile, reflexively checking my perpetually empty inbox. What am I looking for? I'm not even allowed to give anybody my number. Finn.
Wow.
What a depressed bitch.
What
Playing
a
my
mood.
little trumpet.
What a mood.
That was so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you were like, oh, I don't know, I'm not that good at reading.
I'm not good at reading. I feel like especially when I'm talking to a teacher, like teachers have a thing for reading.
Yeah, this is a no judgment zone. I said Bruce Wayne, so like, I don't know. That's fantastic. Thank you for bringing that to the space and being vulnerable there. Luke, this is your time. Plug your shit. What do you want people to follow you on?
You can follow me on Twitter at Lou, LOU_KICKS. And that's really the only thing I'm active on. So,
hell yeah.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Read his stuff. Read his Lighthouse reviews.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yes. Fantastic.
Do some homework.
Fantastic. Well, Luke, thank you for your time.
Was a treat.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for sharing your France experiences with us. You cultured
Of course.
person. Can't relate.
Oh, stop.
Okay. Well, as we say here in the space and here on the West Coast.
Fuck. Shit.
And get whipped.
You did so much of an extended bit. Whatever.
Okay. All right. Okay, bye.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at EliSauerKrause and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.